Hey there, it's Kev Mo. So today I wanted to make a video talking about one of the most challenging experiences that I had, at least in high school, being closeted and gay at the time, or well, gay but closeted at the time, and so it was a situation that really hurt me, really fueled into exactly the concern and fear that I had from being in the closet at the time. And it was a pretty miserable experience for me. And so I hope nobody has to go through it again, but I figured I would at least just kind of share, one of the most troubling experiences I had. So getting into it, so back when I was in high school, a sophomore, actually, I'll I'll get into the story in just a bit, but wanted to let me explain kind of like how this came up again. So I was doing this exercise as part of an activity at work where we were basically sending postcards to our younger self, and so you had to write a postcard. And I work in design, so we designed postcards, which was fun using Figma, of course, and we made postcards that we would in theory send to our younger self. And so, I was trying to think about like what exactly would I send out to, what version of myself would I send to, and what would I send. And so, I think one of the moments, the moment that came up for me was this time in high school when I had had a really tough time. Accepting myself for being gay. Obviously I wasn't. I was trying to pass off as being straight even though I wasn't. And so anyway, this activity kind of reminded me of this moment, and so figured I'd go into kind of what that activity was. So I'll get into kind of what I said on the postcard after I kind of share the story. So getting into the story of it, so I was about, I think, a sophomore in high school, when basically during Valentine's Day we had kind of candygrams that would get sent out to people could send them to their significant others, or like if they had like a secret crush or something like that, they could send flowers to them for Valentine's. And so I don't remember exactly how I caught wind of it, but I had caught wind of it that I was going to be receiving like a Valentine's kind of candygram on, I believe it was a Friday, in my Spanish class, and it was going to be from another guy. And so I didn't know who was sending it. I didn't know who was going to be from. I just caught wind of it, and again, I don't really recall exactly all the details. I just remember being pretty freaked out that I was going to be in class, going to be receiving something, and everybody was going to see who it was from, or like someone would catch wind of it and they would see that it was from another guy. And so obviously, like, being closeted at the time, that was not something that I really wanted getting out to people. I was just, there were a lot of emotions at the time. I was very scared. I was worried. I was frustrated. I was angry. Pretty miserable overall. And so I ended up, a few days before the Valentines were being sent out, I had actually gone up to the teacher who managed all of it. So it was, I'll leave out the names, but basically I said, hey, I would like to kind of cancel this order. And so, I don't know who's sending it or whatnot, but like, can I cancel it? Because I don't want to receive it, basically avoid the whole situation that I just described. And so basically they said no, that there was nothing they could do. And honestly, I was pretty embarrassed just even having to ask, because who doesn't want to receive something like that? And, plus then, if I revealed to this teacher that, what I was trying to do, and they did look it up and they saw like, who had sent it to me, maybe they would be, they would potentially be, tipped off to the fact that maybe I was gay and, very uncomfortable about it. So maybe had something to hide, which obviously I did. And so, I was pretty frustrated. And I remember going to class, pretty much thinking like, I got to brace myself for this. I got to prepare, and like, I kind of got to just be ready for it, and I hope it's over soon. And so sure enough, the class came, and I got a knock on the door, and basically the teacher said, that it was for me, and I had to go get it. And I know the teacher had seen the card, and I really enjoyed the teacher, super great teacher. And so honestly, I didn't really feel super concerned like that they saw it, but like I think like when they looked at it and they kind of like looked at me, I'm sure they could see that I was not super excited to be receiving it. And they ended up pretty much staying hush about it, and I really appreciated that, because I was obviously not comfortable with sharing who got it for me or letting other people see it, let alone be excited. So I was probably the only person to not be excited receiving one of those. So anyway, I never found out who did that and coordinated that prank or joke on me. It maybe was funny to other people, but like it was definitely not funny to me. Looking back on it now, like I could definitely laugh about it, but like at the time it was a really hard and heavy time for me to go through, and it just really sucked. So I never found out exactly who did it or whatnot, but I have some suspects. But at the end of the day, like I forgive who it could have been. And I honestly don't think a whole lot of it, but it definitely was I definitely want to still acknowledge the hurt and the pain that I did go through. That version of myself, that inner child, definitely was in need of some healing. And so that I really appreciated the exercise that we did through my work, where we kind of did this postcard activity, because I ended up sending myself basically a message saying, it's okay that you're gay. This is coming from me right now, as 35, and being much more comfortable, and kind of like, why would I ever worry about that so much? But at the time, it's very hard to, you got your beliefs, and you got your you got the beliefs about what it's like to be gay, and the consequences of it, kind of given culture and religion and stuff like that. But basically told myself that it's okay to accept yourself as gay, Kev. You can graciously accept the flowers. And so maybe as I reflect on kind of like that message, I feel like maybe that's kind of like closed me up to wanting to be able to accept and receive love from people. Maybe people that have tried to care for me, that was an example of back then of me struggling to really receive something. So I can see how that maybe has corresponded into challenges of being able to receive love going forward. So I hope with that exercise, I feel like it was helpful to acknowledge that past moment, and even as I reflect on it now, I think I've done quite a bit of healing from that moment, and really appreciated that moment in my life to kind of bring me to where I am today. So anyway, that was I shared that story to reflect for myself, and just wanted to kind of share that sometimes it's just the perspective of a high school closeted gay boy. So anyway, if this video resonated with you in any way, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. Comment below if you've had any similar experiences, maybe growing up, or in your life where someone maybe was kind of overstepping boundaries and trying to expose you for something that you weren't comfortable for, about in particular your sexuality. So would be curious to hear that. So in the meantime, thanks for watching, and much peace and love.